Hey guys, hope you are enjoying your Friday. I just wanted to take a few minutes to make kind of like an announcement video. It's a lot easier for me just to make a video than it is to type everything out. Usually if I type everything out, not everybody reads it. And then I have to answer a bunch of questions of, what was I supposed to do? What did you say? I don't understand. So just make a video, make it a lot easier. So a lot of people have been asking me the last week or so, and I realized I hadn't really said anything about these two things, so here we go. First is AR. We will not be having AR this 9 weeks. Yay, throw yourself a little party. It's really, really hard for the teachers to monitor AR, especially since we're not together. Plus, not everybody has access to books at home, not AR books anyway, and you can't take tests at home. So there will be no AR this 9 weeks. Second, there is no bingo board. Also, I know you're super, super disappointed. I can hear you're crying over the internet. I know how disappointed you are. But no bingo board this 9 weeks. That just gives you that much more time to get your assignments done. Most of you have been really, really great about getting those done on time, and I appreciate that. Some of you have not been doing a good job getting those done on time. And there really is no excuse for not getting your work done, especially being an honors class. This is not hard work, okay? And it's even not really that time consuming. We were told to make lessons between 20 and 30 minutes for each class. And if you add up those together, that's only 2 to 3 hours a day that you have to work on e-learning. So there's no reason that you're not getting it done, because that's way less time than you would be in school anyway. The only reason that you wouldn't be getting it done is if you're having an internet issue or a Canvas issue or something like that. And if that's the case, then you need to let one of us know. You can't just not do your work, because then it just looks like you're being lazy, whereas the problem was maybe your internet went out. Okay? So if your parents have a phone, like, they can call the school, even though there's nobody there like directly at the school. The number has been redirected, so people will answer your phone calls. You can also call central office. So those are some solutions. If you are having problems with Canvas, I suggest I suggest one of two things. First, restart your iPad. I know we tell you to do that for like everything, but it generally works. So try restarting your iPad. And then if Canvas is still not working, I suggest that you not use the app, but instead you go through the Wabash City Schools homepage. That has helped a lot of people who are having trouble getting things to load or to open up. So try those two things first, and if then that's not working, then go ahead and email one of your teachers and we can try to problem solve it together. We can contact Mr. Beecham for you and try to get things worked out. So if you're having issues, just let one of us know. I know I've been really understanding with people having problems. I know the other teachers would as well, because, I mean, heck, I've had Canvas problems, and Mr. Beecham and Mr. Vale both had to figure it out. So you're not alone. So I'm not going to be upset if you're having Canvas issues or whatever. Just let me know, because I'm going to be upset if you didn't turn your stuff in and I don't know why, and it just looks like you're being lazy. Okay? So just be in communication with me, and it won't be a big deal. My last announcement is, please, 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 please sign into your SSR class each e-learning day. Okay? That is how we are taking attendance. If you've done your work and you didn't sign into your SSR class, then you're counted absent. Okay? It's silly to do all that work and you just didn't sign in. Okay? Please sign in. I suggest making it the first thing you do each e-learning day. You know what? I'm not going to get started on my stuff for like an hour, but I'm going to go sign into SSR so I don't forget. Okay? Just make it your habit when you wake up. Just get signed in, and then you don't have to worry about forgetting the rest of the day, and then you're just ready to go. All right? So those are my 4 big announcements. Before you shut off the video, I wanted to talk about the chapter that you just finished. So the last part of chapter 7. that is where Mr. Granger comes and talks to the family, and then where Mr. Jameson then comes and talks with the family. I wanted to talk about these chapters with you, or this chapter with you real fast, because it's kind of a boring part. Like, I thought it was kind of boring. I'm just going to be honest. It's kind of a boring part because it's not like a lot of action that happens, or it's not super suspenseful or anything like that. But it is a really, really important part to the overall story. And they use some terms that I'm not sure every sixth grader would understand. So I wanted to go through kind of what happened, and just kind of give you like a recap. So that way you're not sitting here going, wait, what happened? I don't understand. Okay. So I just wanted to kind of, like we would in class, where I would just kind of talk about it and explain it. Obviously, you're not here to answer questions or anything, but that's okay. So when Mr. Granger came to talk to the family, well, first, they were with Mr. Jameson. And what happened was Big Ma signed over the land to Papa and Uncle Hammer. That means it is no longer in Big Ma's name. This means that it's still her land, like in the sense of like her heart, it's still her land. But like in a legal sense, it belongs now to Papa and Uncle Hammer. And I think we know for sure she did it for one reason. And that one reason, she said, like, when I die, I don't want there to be any sort of legal confusion about who the land goes to. She wanted that when she died, it goes to Uncle Hammer and Papa. That way, no one can take it from them. No one can claim that it was theirs. It can't go up for auction or anything like that. There's no doubt whose land it belongs to after Big Ma passes away. And then I think that another reason that she did it, now she didn't come out and say that this was her reason, but this was kind of my thinking as I was going through, was she did it because I think that she thinks Mr. Granger might have a harder time getting Papa and Hammer to sell the land than Big Ma. I mean, Big Ma is getting older. She's a black woman. So out of all of society, she is the lowest. Even though a black man is still considered low in society, in that time men were above women. So it would be like a white man, white woman, black man, black woman. So in society, they would be a little bit above her, even though they were both still black. So that was just kind of my thinking of maybe why else she might have done it. Maybe Mr. Granger may have taken them a little bit more seriously than her. I don't know. That might not have been a reason at all, but I thought it might have hinted towards that a little bit. So that's what happened at the very, very beginning of that section that we read. And then Mr. Jameson is talking to the family about them going to Vicksburg to buy their groceries and their supplies, and they were talking about how no one will give them credit there. And what that means is no one is going to kind of loan them money, because we had talked about how like sometimes the sharecrop owners would loan out money and kind of put their name with it and saying, hey, like these are my sharecroppers, they're going to buy stuff at your store and then we will all pay you back later, kind of thing. And they're saying if we go up to Vicksburg or down to Vicksburg, then we don't have anybody, we don't have a white man to do that for us. We don't have someone to say, yes, we will be sure we pay, or if we don't pay, then they're going to pay. That's basically what they're doing. And so, well, then Papa's like, well, then we can do it with our land. Like, we'll use our land. And if then people can't pay, then we'll use our land as that. And then they kind of decide, well, that's not really the best idea because then they could lose out on their land. But then Mr. Jameson said, you know what? I will use my name so these families can get the supplies they need. So what Mr. Jameson is saying is, I will go there and sign my name saying if these families then can't pay, then I have to pay, is what it comes down to. And he's saying, I'm vouching for them. I'm going to say that they are going to pay, which was going to be a huge deal because he is this well-renowned, very well-known white man in the community, and that is not going to be well looked on by the other white men in the community. So Mr. Jameson is really kind of putting himself in danger at this point. Not maybe necessarily danger, like they're probably not going to go like kill him or anything like that, but it definitely is not putting him in a good situation. So after Mr. Jameson leaves, and then they have gone and they bought their supplies in Vicksburg and came back and got a bunch of different families, different supplies. Then Harlan Granger shows up, and when he comes, he is not happy. He's like, I hear you're buying in Vicksburg. That is really bad for the Wallaces. That's really bad for me. And then he goes about threatening them, but he doesn't, at first, doesn't outright threaten them. He does at the very end, which we found out. But at first, he doesn't outright threaten them. He's like, well, if they can't pay their money that they still owe at the Wallace store, I guess I'm just going to have to raise the price of their cotton, which means they're going to owe me more than they had before, which we already know they can't afford to owe more. So he's saying if they're not going to shop there, then I'm going to make it so they don't have any money left. And then so Papa and Uncle Hammer and Mr. Granger, go back and forth about, they don't deserve this. And then Uncle Hammer's like, well, people don't deserve burnings. And it just goes back and forth. And they're talking about the land for a little bit and how that they should have sold the land back to the Grangers. And Granger's like, no, or Papa's like, no, it was slave land. They were just not yelling at each other, but it would have been a very intense conversation. And then at the very, very end, Mr. Granger says, there's lots of ways of stopping you, David. And then Papa looks at him and says, then you better make it you better make it good. If you're going to stop me, you better make it a good way. So they left not in a good situation. They left kind of threatening each other, like, I'm going to stop you any way I know how. And Papa's like, well, you better then come guns a-blazing, because that's what it's going to take. So that was kind of a hard part to read through. It's kind of boring. And there was a lot of information that if you were kind of skimming, which can be kind of easy in parts like that you might have missed. So I just wanted to go over that just so you kind of understood. If you have any more questions about that section, feel free to message me or whatever, and I'd be happy to answer them. But I hope that you're really enjoying the book. We are over halfway done now, and it's going to get good real fast. I mean, it already is good, but it's going to get real good real fast. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. Your assignment to do is down below, so make sure you read through all the directions. And I will probably talk to you all next week. Bye.